Chapter number 3, Measures of Central Tendency. Now, students, you have already studied mean, median and mode in your 10th standard. So, let us quickly revise all of them. Now, in most of the graphs drawn for various frequency distribution, one can observe a common pattern that the values of the variable are concentrated around a central value. Now, whenever we are drawing graphs and of our frequency distributions, we see that all the values, they are concentrated around a certain central value. Means one value we have, all the values are nearby it. So this characteristic of data is called as central tendencies. So what it is called? It is called as central tendency. And the central value around which the values of the variables are concentrated is called as measure of central tendency or average value. The average value thus can be taken as representative for the whole set of data. Now average you have already found, so you know average can be found of height of students, weight of students, average rainfall in a year, right? So average, that is, we can say this average represent whole set of data. It is used for further analysis, interpretation and comparison. So thus we can say, what does an average value do? An average value presents the data in the concise form. It shows special characteristics of the data and it helps in comparison between two or more sets of data. We use different measure of central tendency can be obtained for the collected data. The choice of average depends upon the type of data, what is our purpose of average value and what is its further application. Characteristics of good measure of central tendency. Now an average with following characteristics can be called as ideal average. Now this can be asked in your theory. So what are the measures of good measures of central tendency or characteristics of an ideal average? First, it should be well defined and rigid. Now it should be rigidly defined means what? So we can say that the series of whose average is calculated. So it should have only one interpretation. If only one interpretation is there, so it will avoid any personal prejudice or bias. We can also say that average is the most easiest method to calculate. Second, it should be easy to understand and calculate. So average, it is the most easiest method to calculate. Third, it should be based on all the observations of the data. Or we can say that whatever the average we are finding, it should be representative of the entire series. Or in other words, we can say that the value should lie between the upper and lower limit of the data. Fourth, it should be suitable for further algebraic operations. For further algebraic operation means, that is, an ideal average is one which can be used for further statistical calculation. That is mean, median and mode, this we are finding. So in ahead chapters you will see that this mean, median and mode we will use it as a base for our further calculation in measure of dispersion and all the chapters. Fifth, it should be a stable measure. It means that value of average is found for different samples of same size from the same population should be almost same. Sixth, it should not be unduly affected by very few or very large or very small observations. We can say that our average, or it should not be affected by the extreme values, extreme value of the observation or our series. Now in this chapter we will discuss about measures of central tendency, that is mean. Mean is again bifurcated again in your arithmetic mean, geometric mean, weighted average mean, then median and other positional averages, positional average, decile, percentile and mode. First, arithmetic mean or mean. Now this is the most commonly used averages, that is mean. It is the most commonly used averages among all. Meaning, arithmetic mean is defined as the value obtained by sum of all observations divided by the total number of observations. Now, as we all know that arithmetic mean is the most simple and frequently used technique of computing our central tendency. Now, the average, it is also called as mean. So, we can say that a single number is representing a whole data set. Now, what is our formula or how it is defined? That is the value obtained by sum of all observations. Sum of all observations means whatever the observations are given to you. Suppose the height of 10 students is given. So, the height of 10 students which is given, so you have to add height of all the 10 students. So, that is your sum of all the observations divided by the total number of observations. So, total number of observation means height of how many students is given? 10 students. So, that 10 is your total number of observations. The arithmetic mean of variable x is denoted by x bar. Calculation of mean. Now, what do you mean by grouped data, ungrouped data, discrete variable or continuous frequency distribution? That all everybody knows now, right? So, for ungrouped data, what is our formula for finding arithmetic mean? That is x bar is equal to, as I said, sum of all the observations. Means how many xn means whatever the number of observations are given. It can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, any. So whatever the number of observations are given, that all observations you have to add, divided by n. N is total number of observation. So that is, in short, we can write our formula as sigma xi upon n. That is sigma xi. Sigma means sum of all the observations and total number of observations. Now here, as we write I, but in your textbook for the simplicity of calculations, they are not writing the suffix I. That is, instead of xi they write x, instead of di they write d, and instead of fi they write f. Let us see the first illustration. The following data shows the number of scooters repaired daily at a garage. Find the mean number of scooters repaired per day. Now, these observations are given to you. What we have to find? We have to find the mean number of scooters, that is average. Now, as it is ungrouped data, so we'll use our simple formula, that is x bar is equal to sigma x upon n. Even if you are writing sigma xi upon n, that is also right. So, sigma x upon n, sigma x, that is sum of all the observations. So, these are our observations. So, 7 plus 13 plus 4 plus 8 plus 6 plus 9 plus 10 plus 4. So, we will get our answer, that is sum of observations divided by n. N means total number of observations. How many number of observations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So, total number of observations, that is your n, is 8. So, when we will do total of all these observations, we will get 61 upon 8. And when we will divide, our answer will come 7.625. Now, whenever you get the answer in decimal or point, always round it up to 2 digits. That is 7.63, because it is 5. Whenever it is 5 or more than 5, we add plus 1 in the previous number. So, 7.63. So, thus we can say the mean number of scooters repaired per day at the garage is 7.63. Now, shortcut method. That was the direct method. Now, second one is shortcut method. If the values of the observations are very large and the calculation can be simplified by using assumed mean A. So A is some constant value, preferably around the center of all the observations. Assumed mean A is subtracted from the observation, and the deviations are denoted by D1, D2 and Dn. That is D1 is equal to xi minus A. So what is our formula for finding mean by shortcut method? That is x bar is equal to A plus sigma di upon n. A is your assumed mean, that is the mean which you are assuming. It is not the actual mean which you find, but mean you are assuming. Sigma di, that is the deviation from the mean, and sigma di, that is sum of all the deviations from the mean. Di, that is x minus A, and n, that is your number of observation. Now let us see an example. The rainfall in millimeter at 10 different places of a district was recorded as. Now here they have given you the rainfall at 10 different places. So this is your x, number of observation, n is 10. We have to find mean rainfall. Now here, as you can see, that the values of the observations are large. So here we are assuming our mean as 100. Now it is not compulsory that any specific rule is there that this particular number only you have to take as your A, assumed mean. Assumed mean you can take any number, answer will always come same. Second thing, that is assumed mean, if it is possible, try to take any simple number which can be easily subtracted from all the observations. Now this is your rainfall, and we have assumed mean as 100, A is 100. So D, that is our, this is our D deviation column, x minus A, that is x, this is our x column, minus A we have assumed as 100. So 126 minus 100, 26, 110 minus 110, 91 minus 100 minus 9. Now here be careful that whenever your answer comes in negative or in minus sign, always write it in that form only. 115 minus 100, 15, 112 minus 100, 12, 80 minus 100, minus 20, 101 minus 100, 1, 93 minus 100, minus 7, 97 minus 100, minus 3, 113 minus 100, 13, 38. So this 38 is total of all these deviations from the mean. Now here how you have to add? First of all you have to add all positive value, that is 26 plus 10 plus 15 plus 12 plus 1 plus 30, and then all negative values, 9, minus 20, minus 7, minus 3. Now whatever your positive value answer was there, from that you will subtract your negative value answer. So your answer will come 38 over here. Now let us put it in the formula. X bar is equal to A plus sigma D upon n. Now our A, that is assumed mean, was 100. So instead of A, in place of A we will write 100 plus sigma D, that is deviation from assumed mean, or your D column total. So sigma D is 38. So here sigma D we will replace it with 38, and n is 10, that is number of observation. So 10, 100 plus 38 upon 10. Now 38 divided by 10 is 3.8. So 100 plus 3.8 is equal to 103.8. So we can say that the mean rainfall is 103 or 103.8 millimeter. Now illustration 3. The mean weight of a group of 20 persons was found to be 55 kg. Later, it was discovered that one of them reported her weight as 45 kg, which was actually 54 kg. Find the correct mean of their weights. Now what does this mean? That is the mean weight of 20%. That is your n is 20. And this is your x bar. That is already we have found the mean weight they have given. So mean is 55 n is 20. Now they are saying that we have reported that her weight as 45 kg, but actually her weight was 54 kg. Now we have to find correct mean. Now instead of remembering formula, just understand the simple thing. Now whenever any mistake we make, so what does we do? Whatever the mistake we have made, that we will erase, and whatever the correct thing is there, that we will add, right? So same thing you have to do here. From the sigma x, whatever our wrong observation is there, that we have to deduct, and whatever our correct observation is there, that we have to add, right? Now x bar is given 55 and n is given 20. So first of all you have to find sigma x. You can replace it with mean formula, or directly also you can find sigma x is equal to n multiplied by x bar. That is n is 20 and x bar is 55. So your sigma x will come 1100. Now sum of observation is got 1100, so which includes a wrong value 45. So your wrong value is 45 kg and correct value is 54 kg. So to find correct sum of observation, what we will do? We will subtract the wrong observation and add the correct observation. Now correct sigma x will find sigma x minus wrong observation plus correct observation. So that is 1100 minus our wrong observation was 45 kg and correct observation was 54 kg. So that is equal to, this is our correct sigma x. Now we will find correct mean, that is equal to correct sigma x upon n. So our correct sigma x is 1109 and n is 20. So when we will divide this, we will get our correct mean as 55.45 kg. Now for ungrouped data we have studied mean so far. Now for grouped data. In grouped data, discrete frequency distribution, and then it will come continuous frequency distribution. First, for discrete frequency distribution. Now suppose the observations are given to you with frequencies, okay, and it is always total number of observation. So that time your formula for finding xi or mean will be sigma fi xi upon n. Let us understand with the help of an example. Now the following table shows the number of children per family in a certain area. Find the mean number of children per family. Now here they have given you information regarding number of children and number of family. So as you can see, this is a discrete frequency distribution. Now here instead of this, if classes are given, then that will be your continuous frequency distribution. Now here, as from this you can see, there are 6 observations and the calculation of mean we have to find. So sigma fi xi. Now here, whenever your discrete frequency distribution is given, so you have to make 3 columns. Number of children, that is your x. Number of families, that is your f, frequency, and sigma fi xi column or sigma fx column. How will get the sigma fx column? X multiplied by f. So 0 multiplied by 4 is equal to 0. Then 1 multiplied by 8 is equal to 8. 2 multiplied by 23, 46. 3 multiplied by 8, it will give 24. Then 4 multiplied by 6, 24. 5 multiplied by 3, 50. Now here your n is total of your frequency, that is 4 plus 8 plus 23 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3. So here in your discrete frequency distribution, and you have to take as sum of all the frequencies, and your fx you have got 106. 70. Just simply we have to put in formula sigma fi xi upon n. So mean x bar is equal to sigma fi xi upon n. So 117 upon 52. So we'll get 2.25 as our answer. Now shortcut method of this will be mean is equal to a plus sigma fi di upon n into c. Now the time in minutes taken by a bus to travel between two towns on different days is shown in the following table. Now here they have given the time in minutes and number of days. Means how much time a bus takes to travel between two towns on different days. We have to find the mean travel time. Now here the observation is large, so we are using the shortcut method, that is D. Now D here is equal to x minus a upon c. C means your common factor. Common factor, time, frequency, D I column, that is x minus a. A is your assumed mean. So we have assumed our mean as 120. Any value you can take. You can take first value as your a. You can take any value of your choice as assumed mean. Now here as c is common factor is 1, so we don't need to divide by anything. 110 minus 120. That is x minus a. So these are our x values and a is 120. 110 minus 120, that is equal to minus 10. 113 minus 120 minus 7. 120 minus 120, it will give you 0. 122 minus 120, 2. 126 minus 120, it will give you 6. Now we have to find FIDI column. FIDI column means frequency column multiplied by our deviation column, F into D, that is second column multiplied by third column. So 7 into 10 is 70. Here be careful that whenever negative sign is there, you have to put negative sign over here, otherwise your answer will come wrong. So 7 multiplied by minus 10, it will give you minus 70. 17 multiplied by minus 7, it will give you minus 119. 11 multiplied by 0, it will give you 0. 10 multiplied by 2, 20. And 5 multiplied by 6, 30. So minus 139 is total of our FD column, and F total, that is n is equal to 50. All the frequencies total, that is equal to our n. Total number of observation is 50. Now let us put all these things in formula. Mean x bar is equal to a plus sigma FIDI upon n into c. Now our a assumed mean was 120 plus sigma FIDI, it was minus 139 divided by n, that is total number of observation 50, multiply by 1. So 120 plus minus 139 upon 50 into 1. First we will solve this much. So minus 139 divided by 50 will give you 2.78. Now as here minus sign is there, so plus minus minus. So that's why here minus sign will come. Now whenever it is minus and minus, so it will happen plus. So 120 minus 2.78. So that is equal to 117.22. So that is the mean travel time for bus is 117.22 minutes. Now for continuous frequency distribution, so whenever we transform the data into continuous frequency distribution, each frequency shows the number of observation in that class. So we do not know the each observation of that class, right? For example, if class 0 to 5 is given with frequency 7, so exact value of this all 7 observations we are not knowing. So hence we are taking the mid value. for all these 7 observations. We assume the mid value for all these observations of this class, right? So what is our formula for calculating mean for continuous frequency distribution? That is x bar is equal to a plus sigma fi di upon n into c. A, that is assumed mean, sigma fi di, that is frequency of the class, and deviation multiplication, and c is your common factor, and that is total number of observation. Illustration 7, that is the following data represent monthly income in rupees of workers in a factory. Find their mean income. Now here the information is given regarding income and number of workers. 2000 to 3000, 3000 to 4000 classes are given. Continuous frequency distribution, number of workers, that is your F. So total of all this frequency will be your N. Now what is our first step? Whenever continuous frequency distribution is given, so first of all we have to find mid value. So mid value, all of you know how to find mid value is upper limit of the class plus lower limit of the class divided by 2, right? So all classes mid value you can find. Orally also you can calculate, but better to use calculator because sometimes students make silly mistake while doing sums in hurry. Okay, so 2000 plus 3000 divided by 2, it will give you 2500, here 3500, 4500, and so on. Now, continuous frequency distribution, make 5 columns, class, frequency, these 2 things are given to you in question. Then mid value, deviation, and FD. You can find it out by FX also, but the calculation will be very big. Mid value, how to find? Upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. 3000 plus 2000 divided by 2. So 2500. 4000 plus 3000. That is 7000 divided by 2. So 3500. 5000 plus 4000. That is 10,000 divided by 2. 5000 plus 4000. 9000 divided by 2. That is 4500. 6000 plus 5000. That is 11,000. Divided by 2, so 5500. 7000 plus 6000, that is 13,000 divided by 2, so 6500. And frequency total, that is 80. This is your N. Now here assumed mean, so assumed mean you have to assume it from X column. Previously in discrete we were assuming from this X column, but here classes are given. So now this assumed mean we have to assume from mid value, that is our X column. So 5500 we have assumed, and C, that is the common factor between all this, is 1000. So D is equal to X minus A upon C. So what is your X? 2500 minus C. 2500 minus 5500 divided by 1000. So 2500 minus 5500 will give you minus 3000, and minus 3000 upon 1000 will be minus 3. Same way for second observation, 3500 minus 5500 divided by 1000, so that will give you minus 2. Likewise for all the observation we have to find. Then we'll find out our FD column, FIDI column. So FIDI column is, now be careful, FIDI, so don't multiply X, okay? See carefully, FI and DI, F and D column. So 2 into minus 3, so minus 6, 3 into minus 2, minus 6, 7 into minus 1, minus 7, 15 into 0, 0, 25 into 1, 25, 16 into 2, 32, and 12 into 3, 30. 6. So our FIDI column total is 74, N is 80. Now let us put all the values in our formula. X bar is equal to A plus sigma FIDI upon N into C. A, our assumed mean was 5500 plus sigma FIDI 74, N 80 multiplied by C, common factor 1000. So 5500 plus this portion we have to calculate first. So 74,000 divided by 80. So that will give you 925. So 5,500 plus 925, that is equal to 6,425.